Oh, down. You gotta run the camera now.
I can do that. You got a hammer?
Start. Call the meeting to order. Goss.
Yes.
Weiss. Hillman.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Moore.
Yeah.
Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Conflict of interest. Approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Goss.
Yes.
Hillman.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Moore. Okay. It is 7:02. We need a roll call vote to go to the public hearing on the matter of adoption of the 2024 citywide urban revitalization. Goss.
Yes.
Weiss. Hillman.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Moore.
Yes.
Sorry, need a motion into it.
Oh, yeah, with the motion. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make the motion that we go into public hearing on the adoption of the 2024 citywide urban revitalization.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, so we did the roll call.
Yep, we got the roll call taken care of.
So this citywide urban revitalization plan is something that we had, in 2022. It's the tax abatements that the city issues. So if you're in the residential area, it's a 5-year tax abatement, for up to $75,000 more of added value to your, so like a house, a garage, a shop, a shed. So you don't get taxed for 5 years on that added value, the $75,000 of that added value. And then for commercial, it's a 10-year tax period. So it starts with the first year's 80%, and then 70, 60, 50, 40, 40, 30, 30, 20, 20. So it's something that we've had for a long time. It's just with the changes of clerks, we didn't realize that it was up for renewal and it got missed. So. And we did have a lot of people stop in and ask about it. They were all good with it once we explained it, so,
Yep, we have a lot of people asking about it.
yeah.
Any questions, comments, anybody here?
Does the work have to be completed this year, or could it started last year, completed this year? What's the?
So once it's in effect, you can, I think it's from the start of your build. So the start of when it's finished being built. So
Okay.
if you only have 9 years left, then you would only get, 4 years left, then you would only get a tax abatement for 4 years.
Okay.
So if somebody built something in 2023, they wouldn't.
We got the last one, but we got another
Mhm.
addition.
Okay,
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions? $7:05, we need a motion to go out of closed.
yep, a motion to go out of closed
We
session.
need a motion to go out.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Goss,
Yes.
Hildman,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Moore.
Yeah.
Now we need a motion or a roll call to pass.
No, that's later in the agenda.
Oh, we got it down there.
Mhm.
Department heads. Linda, library.
Thank you. The Blast kids, which is our early out kids, enjoyed the visit by Alyssa Goth, who is Miss Iowa. She read a book and helped them make pipe cleaner tiaras. It was, we had a visit by the Garner paper, so it was covered with that. But she also talked about her struggle with diabetes and how competitions work. So the kids all had an interesting time with her for an hour. We had a full staff meeting to review procedures and discuss summer staffing. We're going to try to have quarterly meetings, just so everybody keeps up on the same information. The kindergarten class visited the library on Monday, May 20th. That was their little outing. Summer reading program plans are set. Programs begin the last week of June and conclude the week of fair in July. Prizes include books and t-shirts, which we work with Give So Sweet on those. There are program levels for kindergarten first, second through fifth, teens and tweens, and parents of preschool age children. The library received an email from the state library informing us that we are accredited again and at tier 3 through June 30th of 2027. So that's an every 3-year application process that we do. And tier 3 is the highest tier. The library board continues to review the trustee manual, usually covering a chapter or 2 each month. I'm sure it's their favorite part of the board meeting, but again, it helps keep everybody on the same page and informed. And the damaged tree was removed last week, and the new trees that were planted are all doing very well.
Good. Any questions, Linda? Thank you. Public Works, Vance.
We had the contractor had the force main hooked up on Main Avenue. That's why the Main Street was blocked for a while down there across the highway. We got the pool up and running. Waterloo boiler has been here to make some repairs at the boiler at the sewer plant. I found out today that the sewer plant boiler is no longer operational. So she's working on getting me a price on a replacement for that. We've had some problems with the generator that used to be up here behind City Hall at the sewer plant. It wasn't kicking on when it was supposed to every week. And they determined that it's gonna take a new switchboard for that generator. Elizabeth said we had money in budget for that, so I ordered that. They have to take the generator to Webster City to put that on there. So we'll be out of the generator for a couple of days. We can run it manually if needed right now, but sometimes it just doesn't automatically kick on. We had TNK Roofing here. They were here at they did the roof at the water plant, and they've done some good work here at the fire department. But this month has been tough, and we got a couple more yet. Harbor experts were here. They started trimming the trees, and they removed one of the trees at the library. We got the cold patch, filled in some potholes, replaced the sign on 9th Avenue. We got the screener over here. We got some compost going. There's been some discussion about selling it out of town. One was the community, and I've had some other people ask me who are non-residents, just living outside the city limits. And so far that has been a no. But it could be open, I guess. We had the ball diamonds sprayed. They're more sterilized, so we shouldn't have to worry about weeds over here. The curbs on Main were cut. They're marked out and cut. I see there's a mark again. So I'm guessing they're just waiting for 3 days of nice weather. We're having some issue at Lime Park. Over the weekend, the toilets want to plug. They're finding a attempt to fire the bathroom and the shelter house. That's how the toilet's been plugged 2 weeks in a row now over the weekend. We have,
And by plug, they've taken every roll of toilet paper available and throw them in the sewer.
Toilet paper, tree mulch,
Yeah.
sand, rocks.
we had a backflow preventers checked. Talked to the county and New Bank about some new meters. Met with Cody from Hinkle a few times. We've received some training on the water plant generator and some of the chemicals that are going to be added. We did have Andy Buffington check in with us after the first set of storms went through, when the 8 inches was up north of rain. 218 5th Street Northwest. There's a new business owner in there. I don't remember what it's called, but he's selling mowers and stuff out there, and there's a waterway out there, and it's plugged up bad. So I hired 2 girls to come in, and he could barely get his little mini close enough. I think it's really deep, but so he just cut a waterway through there, and that's an obvious way to talk about that. And the water services and the location of the Justice sirens.
Any questions?
I missed something, yeah, Second Avenue Southeast Sewer. I missed you saying something on that.
Eric's gonna talk about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so on the agenda, under vans, also, we have, the golf course garage doors. We just have a lot going on with the new water treatment plant, the pool, a lot of projects right now. So, we did get a quote from Paul Francis to install those doors. It's a very, broad, estimate, but, said it could take him anywhere from 2 to 4 days, and it's about a 6-person group. Which I sent you guys that quote. And then an hourly rate for a carpenter, 60 an hour, and a laborer is 30 an hour. So I don't know. I mean, we can get more quotes, obviously, but we just kind of want to see what your thoughts are and if we should reach out to other people to get quotes for that.
Your thoughts?
that including them building the new doors? then,
Yeah.
too?
Yep, yeah. That's why he thinks it could take anywhere from 2 to 4 days. Or 2 to 4 days. Did I say 2 to 6? 2 to 4 days. Oh, okay.
It gives him an opportunity, or any contractor, an opportunity to be out there for the whole 8 hours. I haven't spent 8 hours in one spot since I started working for the city.
Is there anybody else in town that does
Since
So-
we gave Matt 3 hours to do the 3 doors, taking all the doors off and putting the new trim on Saturday. If you wanted to ask him,
You think he
it
would,
would, it didn't take as long.
so you think he
I
could,
don't
yeah,
know that he'll want to build all the doors again, but
Yeah.
to get the 11 doors up.
just, I guess we're just looking to see if you guys
There
are,
actually 8 doors up.
okay. And then building 11 and painting 11, so. Yeah. You guys are willing to let us look at other quotes to put those on? Yeah, okay.
I jumped in. So back to that waterway on 218 Fifth Street Northwest. The contractor recommended it. We were discussing, you know, he could come in there and hog all that out, get it to grade. It doesn't have a lot of fall from our outlet to where it goes underneath the road along the highway there. And I've also talked to the DOT, because it's kind of a big deal to be digging in there right away. And they said that if, for what we had planned, if this goes through with you guys, that he'd be okay with that. So we were looking at possibly over digging anywhere from 8 to 12 inches, like we did at Lions Park. And then put erosion stone all the way from where the outlet is on our intakes all the way over to the highway, to that highway culvert. We could do it like that, and so that's what the prices that I have there on the sheet there with the erosion stone and the hauling, because I figured it was gonna be about 150 ton roughly of erosion stone. And Slicer could get that in 6 loads for me with the side dump as opposed to 20 loads with my dump trucks. That's one way. Or we could just dig it all out and just leave it for dirt and, you know, then hopefully it dries out so we can plant grass again. And we could put new pipe in there and take pipe all the way to the ditch line of the highway. That should probably include a structure right at the beginning, because there's 3 pipes going into 2. And then getting the right size is gonna take an engineer to do all the hydraulics. And of course, the DOT has to have their approval to get into their ditchway with a new pipe. He was really happy with it. We were just gonna rock it. And hopefully be maintenance free for a lot of years.
Okay, any comments or questions on that? Of course, those will get more estimates on. One time.
Yeah, do you want to update us, Eric, on that water plant?
Yeah, it's a long time coming, but we're close. You can't quite taste the water yet, but we're getting really close. So everything is done inside the building. As of now, with the exception of the filtration and the reverse osmosis system. So I think we've only had a couple guys on site the last little bit doing some sidewalk stuff as they can. Justin Vance have been working on the chemical system and trying to get some things dialed in on what they want to see. We don't have the corrosion inhibitor on site yet, but it is coming. And then we can go online without the reverse osmosis in place, which right now we're waiting on a pump that came too much vibration, so we had to send it into Kansas City.
I'm not sure.
But anyway, it it wasn't working right, so we're waiting on that to get back in working order, and then we'll get the reverse osmosis system in. And that is strictly for harvest of the water. So, and once that's up and running, we'll have fully blended water. So we're getting very, very close to being there. And then once we are up and running full steam, then we can start doing the demo on the whole building and get that. We're getting very, very close. And then, any questions on that?
We've got one by August. We've been running the plant a little bit, just trying to make sure we get chemicals dialed in. So we can run it through that fire hydrant, that's why it's there like that, and not affect the distribution system. So it's, we'll run our own little circle there.
As we're sitting right now for substantial completion, we're going to be having the plant fully operational. Less, I mean, the artwork doesn't matter at that point, the sidewalk isn't part of that. And the demo and that is not either. Once we get that pump back in place and we get the RO system up and running, once it shows up on site, 2 to 4 weeks to get that thing fired up and out. So it all depends on when that thing comes back. When it comes back, I know Nichols going to be very anxious to get that. Good. So,
The RO team is out of Florida, they need 2 weeks lead time before. So after we get everything installed, it'll still be 2 weeks before you even come out do the training.
What was the biggest delay? I mean, we're talking about a plant that was supposed to be up a long time ago.
yeah, so the electronic side of things, really, really slow things. Being able to get all the pieces and parts. Automatic systems was doing all the controls for that. And I know for the fact that they were getting delayed on chipboards and things like that coming in. They were building components as far as they could, and then they're waiting on, you know, a handful of little pieces and parts to come in to be able to finish things out. So they've been on site working through the chemical feed stuff.
What was Hinkle doing while they were waiting for electronics?
They're recording cleaning and all the other little things, you know, punch list stuff in the building and get those things knocked out. So they've been making progress, but you know, unfortunately, we can't get things completely online.
When they sent that RO skid up and it got delivered, the main control box was empty. Because they don't have the parts for it, and so they sent that up. As much as they could build at the factory, sent that up.
They were trying to do as much as they could, but.
I would have thought that some of the outside stuff would have been done by now if they couldn't work inside.
Well, for the inside, it was the controls and electronics.
Right. But if they couldn't do that stuff, then I would have expected the outdoor stuff to be done.
Well, and we've had some challenges with the artwork. With some submittals and processes on that. So we're working through that.
Okay.
But the sidewalks, they've just been trying to.
Right, that was a change order, I understand that.
Any other questions? Yeah. So the Second Avenue Southeast Sewer, they asked us to go and do some analysis on that based off of the videos that the fans had. My team took a look at all that, and it is a very strong candidate for a lighting project instead of a full replacement. The pipe condition itself is really good. We've got some offset joints, and we're mostly concerned with the ionitis coming into the system at that particular point. But being a strong candidate for that, we would also go after doing some rehabilitation of manholes, which would be a cementitious liner. So we're using existing manholes and just rehabbing those. And then at the very south end of the corridor, we've got some interesting manhole configurations right there. And we're going to try to clean that up. There's two manholes in that location. And they're very, very close together, and based off of what we're seeing from previous installs, we kind of bypass some things, and some good things on the intersection. So we're going to try to clean it up. And the intent would probably be to, in order to get most of the I&I out, we would do services out to behind the back curb. So those taps that are in those clay pipes are all sealed up under the street. So give as much I&I. Our preliminary cost estimate for that with contingencies is around $450,000. If we were to do a full street replacement, if we were to do the sanitary by taking the street out and new, probably looking at close to $1 million. But that would provide the opportunity to do other things, address water mains and storm sewer possibly. But the intent at this juncture is to have a system. We can do that with limited invasive process.
So most of the lining can be done just from block to block with this, the truck standing above the ground. But on First Street Northeast, there'd be one manhole there that'd have to be dug up slightly. When the manhole was installed, it was a gravel road. When it was paved, instead of digging up and removing the cone and taking the spacer out, they just knocked the top of that off. So I would like to have that new cone. Here it goes about that, and that was one of the things. And then on Second Street Southeast, where the two manholes would be replaced, those are 20 foot deep, so it's gonna be a big hole.
It's gonna be probably most of the intersection.
And that's gonna take a little bit of doing. That would be the biggest hold up on traffic.
If we do the line, how long, if you line it, how long does that last?
Oh, easily 40, 50 years, because it's plastic PVC liner, it's not going anywhere.
Most of it is dead, gone.
We probably won't see another rehabilitation on that.
Have you seen one?
Yeah, I just didn't know how long they would typically last. I know that pretty much know the process.
They relined my personal one, that's what they told me, 50 years.
And it's a fairly quick process.
Half the price.
Roughly, yeah. But if you did a full excavation to replace the pipe, a lot of your cost is in the pavement. Because then you're in the street reconstruction because of that.
So that's what else would we have the opportunity, if we would dig something like that up, is there other things we would do at the same time? Water lines
The
or
storm
something?
sewer for sure. From Second Street to Center, they put that in. And the whole thing has a lot of blowouts on it because the outlet to drain is above ground instead of downstream where it should be. Engineered a long time ago before most of us were here, so.
Is that something we need to fix reasonably soon? Okay.
This will help a bunch seal everything up. But on the same token, if we dug it, we'd be able to visually inspect that and see what we could do. Either wrap the joints, and it's a 42-inch storm sewer pipe. Lining that is going to be very expensive. But this one is so deep, even if we went to go redig that, we wouldn't interfere with the sanitary sewer because of the height difference. The storm sewer is way above the sanitary.
That's only like the 2 block section you're talking
From
about.
Center to Second, from Center north to the railroad tracks, roughly, it turns that before we get to the track.
That's the full intersection where the water is just running down a hole in the middle of the side of the street.
Yeah,
We still have a kind of a mess there.
yeah.
Yeah, that whole intersection is a mess, isn't it?
Well, the south side we've already,
Right, you
we
dug
did
that
that one off. And I was waiting to see where this goes before I started tearing up more road, and somebody else was gonna do it.
because the north side of the street is just bad. South side is dry.
Probably is.
So we're essentially done with our evaluation and our recommendations to align the mains and do manhole rehabs.
And how long does that take to line it?
The line, do the physical linings, is you do your services first. But the lighting process itself for that 3.5 blocks. 2 weeks. It doesn't take long at all. It takes longer to set up than it does to actually do it. And then you just need to cure it, and then you go back through and you get your taps right away. And then the people who are affected, because they'll do it in sections, they'll be asked to limit their sewage, their water usage for that day. And at the end of the day, they'll cut those taps out so they have full access. You know, meaning like, hey, could we not, take baths or run local laundry, those kinds of things.
You actually just go through and cut the.
Yep.
holes back.
They go through with a robotic camera and it's got a little hole saw, if you will, a little Dremel, if you will. That's right out.
First fibers will suck out into the service line, so they'll get dented. And then that's a good mark, but then it's also the ones that aren't hooked up, we don't have to cut them off. So anything that's been there, that's been abandoned or should have been hooked up to begin with.
But then those sucked into the bit too.
Don't, yeah, but they won't take any water.
And it's structurally sound. When these things cure out, you can stand up.
Yeah, I've seen them in the ditch, I've taken an 8-inch chunk of it and stood on it, and it didn't bend.
So I guess as far as, funding the project, Vance and Elizabeth and I were talking, what's available for sanitary sewer funds, or want to move forward, and the other things that we need to do. I know you've got your wastewater plant on the horizon. There might be discussions about grants to help cover that. And if the rate increases there for that, I would encourage doing a one-time rate increase. If this was going to be a part of that as well. That way you're not coming back and going through the process of public comment and everything for rate increases. Just do it for one time, if that's the direction. But if there's funds available, stack up, be ready to go in a very short amount.
From looking at the bid, obviously you ran the camera through everything and looked at everything. Just an opinion, how long, what is currently there, how long do we have before we're truly in trouble?
Structurally, I don't think you have any issues for a long time. I don't see any structural failures happening, or in the manholes themselves, with the exception of adjustment of when we have that one, we would do a project, we should be able to get to that. It's more along the lines of getting that groundwater out of the sanitary system. Structurally, it's probably okay.
And that groundwater would factor into a calculation on the size of the new sewer plant.
Well, if we could get, if we could get a 3-inch drain and not have 1 million gallons of water.
Right.
The sewer plant.
Yeah, you have no
We're gonna
idea,
show it.
no idea how much water you're pulling in from that,
Right,
going to the sewer plant.
right.
And I'm sure it's not all coming from there,
Right.
but everything you line helps everything downstream, because every drop of water that goes into the sanitary system has to be treated. So if it's clean water, whether it's sump water or just regular groundwater, if you can get that out of there, the effects and costs of treating water can be huge.
And now they'll look at that. When we,
Yes.
when we start doing the studies on the sewer plant.
So they'll take a look at your existing flows and then the DNR regulations and all those kinds of things.
The less flow we have, the better off we are.
The term used to be dilution is the solution. The DNR doesn't like it. So that'd be a point of discussion as far as funding the project.
Any other discussion? Vance?
We need a motion on
Waterway.
the waterway, right?
Yeah.
That's my thought. We're looking at like around $8,000 to do that.
Yeah.
Approximately. We're gonna dig it out, I just assume put rock in there.
That's what I thought too. I'm trying to get that compost cleaned up to get all this wet stuff out there before I try to clear it out and dry it out. Unless somebody needs it in their backyard.
I would make a motion to move forward with the digging of the 218 Fifth Street Northwest waterway with Steve Earls for $3,500 and then put down erosion stone for $4,000.
Second that.
Any other discussion?
The bathrooms at Lions, can they be locked sooner to prevent some of the issues that are happening down there?
Lock them overnight.
They're locked at, don't they get locked at like 10 or something like that? Or are they open all night?
That would be
No. I mean, to
They're
prevent,
locked at all.
They're not locked at all, are they?
Not that I'm aware of. And like, we can start doing that.
I mean, just to prevent some of the damage that's being done down there. It's, I
Nothing.
mean, it's been an ongoing thing.
Probably not happening
It's happened every
this
year.
afternoon.
No, not when parents are down there with their kids. It's happening at night when other kids are out and about. Not good. Yeah. I don't know, just a suggestion to prevent having to replace toilets and things like that.
A whole lot less work to.
And it's a lot less work for the guys.
And it's not inviting for anybody to use. You know, you go down there and try to use that, you gotta plan on spending 4 hours cleaning it. Good.
What time do you think?
Falls in your lap, Tyler, what do you think?
I'd say earlier the better, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, don't mean to make it work
No.
for you guys.
It's obviously still light out at 8 o'clock. And most people, I don't know how busy it is after 8 o'clock at night. I guess I don't go by it that often. What?
Unless somebody's got a rent.
Well, and if it's,
Then they would know.
Usually not.
Right.
really.
yeah, it's usually from like, if anything, it's 4 to 8 or something like that.
Usually like over noon. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll let them know.
Was there a second on that motion?
Yes.
We got interrupted. It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Hildman.
Yeah.
Ask about the waterway.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Carried.
We're gonna lock the restrooms at 8.
And open them at what time?
Guys, do you think you guys,
They
Yes,
can
when you
open them up.
yeah,
They don't have
7.
to open them, they can open
Yeah.
Yeah.
them. They can lock them.
Like 8 to 8.
Yeah. Okay, anything else? Please report, Tyler.
Attached calls for service, including numbers from the surrounding apartments. All those numbers are highlighted. I noticed that I did not update the numbers and the dates in your report. But we had a total of 103 calls between May 7th and June 3rd. Or June 3rd. Jordan attended his annual DLE, Dogs for Law Enforcement seminar down in Independence between that very first week of May. Him and Axel got recertified down there. So it should be good for the year. I think there was a total of 73 dogs, Jordan, 74 teams down there. So it was a good week for them to be down there. They had, I think, numerous different master trainers from all over the country. Even in Canada, there was some Canada instructors that came down for it. Some guys from Boston, PD, Massachusetts, Indiana, Illinois. So it's good. It's always a good seminar for him to go to. We did the bicycle safety rodeo at the elementary school on May 10th. WAS and Canal PD helped out with that. That was for grades K through 4th grade. So it was a good thing to do. It was fun. We got the radar switched out for 2014 and is in the truck. That's up and running. This last Sunday on the 2nd, we held testing for 11 non-certified applicants. 6 of the 11 applicants showed up to testing, and we had 2 of them pass the physical testing, but we have 3 applicants total to interview. So I believe those 3 I'm still waiting on confirmation, but the one has at least a passing post-test and MMPI results. And the other 2 say they do, so I'm just waiting on those. If that's the case, then we can skip all that and go straight to interviews. That'll save some time. And then on May 16th, we offered Isabel Davis a position for one of our open spots. Isabel comes from Humboldt PD. She accepted. Her first day was yesterday, and we're excited to have her.
Glenn, was that a 2-for-1?
No.
I'm staying in this.
Uh,
I gave you her, though. I didn't take her from you.
so, yeah.
Any questions?
Can we have Isabel swear in? Yeah. Here's- You just want to read it.
All right. Raise your right hand.
I, Isabel Davis, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa and the ordinances of the City of Britt, Iowa, that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all the duties of a police officer in the City of Britt, Iowa, as now or hereafter required by law.
Oh.
Okay, got a question. What's the time frame on working in and schedule and all that? You told me.
Yeah, about 3 weeks. However, she's just kind of riding along with us this week. And next week we'll get her in the truck. Jordan and I will just ride along with her, just kind of shadow. Either if she needs anything, and then that 3rd week, we'll just kind of let her do her thing, and Jordan and I will be out and about as she's working. We'll just kind of kick her loose, and then from there we'll get her on the schedule. So as long as everything's, I don't anticipate there being any issues. So.
Good. Thanks for coming.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. Any other questions, comments? John Swanson, Fire Department.
You should have my report. We had two calls of service for May, one storm spotting, 5 different standbys, weeks at the racetrack. Training for that month, we did a fire investigation, fire cause, and a 360 size up. And we had, and what to do, call for mutual aid if we have a major fire with our neighboring town that we have agreements with. Went and toured 4 businesses that have the Knox boxes. We checked their locations. And we also looked at those same 4 locations where their sprinkler system hookups are, and if they have an alarm going off, they usually have an outside light or bell and or pole outside the building so that we know they got running water inside. So then we hook up to a hydrant and feed the system. So, and all 4 of those are businesses in town that have both the sprinkler systems, the hookups, and the alarms, and the knock box. School's the next one getting them. They're waiting for apparently they get a grant type situation through the state fire marshal's office, I think, something like that. So that's all I have.
Good, thank you. Zoning, Mike.
You should have my report. Permits issued during the month of May. Daniel Garcia, a privacy fence and moving in a shed. Damon Baker, a new shed put in on Main Street there. Britt CRC Church, they're putting up a new sign in a little different location. John Sonias is putting up a handicap ramp, a small deck. People that I talked with about zoning is Todd Reeses. Talked with him several times about zoning to handicap ramp. And Michael Stos, he's asking if he needed a permit for a raised garden bed. Adam Harms, I delivered a permit form for a fence he started building. And Lance Hellingay, questions about the CRC sign. And Tim Taplin, he was asking if he could move a Morton style building in for a garage. Larry Nimitz, questions about putting 4 solar panels on the side of his house. Ryan Swanson, questions about a child's playhouse and a second garage. Dan Hampy, I dropped the permit form off for him and putting up a chain link fence. Emily Lacone, she wanted to know if a permit was needed for a garden fence. And Patrick Wallen delivered the form for a sidewalk and driveway.
Any questions on Mike's report? Good. Pretty busy month then. Golf course, Angie.
I gave you guys copies of the financials.
So our numbers are down this month for golfers. They're getting kind of bored just chipping and not actually being on the greens. This last month we had plenty of moisture, but not enough heat and humidity. Now this weekend, from Friday to Monday, they look very good. They're growing. That heat is helping. I talked to Ryan on Monday, and he added another dose of terraplenish to all of them. He did 3 gallons to an acre, and normally he only does 2, but he said that he really wants those microbes to start spreading, whatever. Those were the stuff that was donated to us by Good Green. At our last meeting, we talked about chemicals and stuff, the broadleaf control is gonna be about eight to 9,000. And 3 to 3.5 hours every other week. Right at $450 got that done. We talked about, or I talked with Brian also about the ash trees. We know how expensive that is and everything, but he did give me a second option. He said that the outcome isn't as great, it's only about 50% effective, but losing 20 trees versus 40 trees would be better, in my opinion. And it's a lot cheaper, so every year it would be put on, and it'd only be $25 to $50 per tree. And so an average of 40 trees at $40 a tree would only be 60.
Who was this?
Who was that? Yeah.
Ryan.
Ryan with Grassmasters, Ryan Nelson. And his arborist is Duran Watts. And what it is it's a top, it's like a an EAB bark penetrant. And it gets sprayed on the trees, on the bark itself, from the ground up to about chest height. And then this weekend I kind of got to thinking about the trees and wondered if there's any like programs out there where we could start planting trees, just like in our no-mow area. We could have our own little nursery and let them grow for a few years and then as needed.
I can look, we applied for a grant in 2020, and we got $2,500 to plant trees, so I can see if that's still open. Or if that's, if there's anything out there for trees, because trees are expensive.
On Saturday, several people coming in had mentioned that they were smelling gas. So we had to call the Alliance Energy. They came out and couldn't write anything, but did shut the gas off. And Monday morning came out again, turned the gas on, still couldn't find anything except on the grill out there, one of the pilot lights. He said that when he would light it, it wouldn't stay lit. He said that the orifice needed to be cleaned out and something drilled out, maybe. So that needs to be fixed. And I'm gonna talk to what's his name? Smith.
Oh, so you talking about the water?
No, the gas.
Yes.
Gas in the
Oh.
grill.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You're gonna talk to who?
I can't think of his name.
Bill Short.
Bill Short from Smith Hardware and Garner. He's been out to the course numerous times in last year.
Okay.
Reasonably priced and knows his stuff.
And then, you guys got my email over some of those golf course things. Brian did get me a quote to move that water heater. And then I did talk to, what's that? Not Ryan. Is it Ryan? That guy from Dean Meyer. Jake, sorry. So he's getting me a quote. He was supposed to get it to me today, so I bet you it'll be tomorrow. Just to fix the light fixtures, and then I know we're working on getting quotes from Matt or anybody for the doors. So that should be on the next agenda for council approval.
Does anyone have any good places to look at, like, I don't know what kind of doors are called. The doors that open, like 2 doors, like what's on patio now, where they're not gonna be so expensive. I have a friend that wants to sell hers, but it's all glass and I don't want it.
Was that the $800 one? Okay.
I think new, they're gonna be outrageous, but. Do you agree? Glass probably wouldn't be the best option for.
Yeah. Yeah. Habitat for Humanity Restored has a bunch of doors, but I'm not sure if they would work there.
That's a great idea.
I don't know
I
how
didn't
well,
even think of that.
if they work with you, but I go to the ones in Des Moines every time I go down there. There's two different ones there. They have a lot more than Mason City up
Do
there.
they?
Yeah, I've been to both of them.
They've got a lot of stuff down there.
So Thursday, Ryan is coming one last time before we open up the greens. And he's gonna seed and top dress and groom it, and then, Doug will start putting the new holes in. And we'll have the flags up by Friday afternoon. Saturday, we have a tournament for Races Global. They're actually from,
What's that?
The tournament. It's from Mexico or something like that I
they're
saw.
from Mexico.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
see
she's
that.
from Britt originally. She graduated here, Carly Schultz.
Yep.
Then
So,
her and Reggie Nichols
yep.
and their family have been down to Mexico for, yeah.
So they are
Just
renting the golf course for the day. And the building for half a day, and, El Tequila is bringing food in. And if nobody has anything going on Saturday, it sounds like it'll be fun. They're gonna have more than just golf. They'll have bag tournaments out there too. So.
I think there's cornhole too.
Yep.
Yeah, if I go down to Des Moines, I'll check with you and I'll look there at the resource too, but yeah. They do have a lot of doors. But I'm not sure if they work. Something to try.
You can get the sizes of that you need. As I go down that once in a while.
It gets 72 inches wide and 80 tall, but I don't.
You think? You best probably.
Matt would know that number. I don't know that number right off the top of my head. And the other one is 36 by. So January through March financials, obviously. A lot more profit, but basically we were open all year, so in the past it hasn't been. Questions?
Do you anticipate quite a bit more or some more memberships and whatever once the greens get opened up? I mean, I know it's getting later.
I don't anticipate many more memberships.
Yeah,
Because I think people are upset that it's taking longer.
yeah,
The weather did not cooperate. We got started 2 weeks later than we were supposed to. We got
yeah.
11 inches of rain when
hopefully get more green fees. Yeah,
Holes.
I went out there and looked.
4 and 2, 4, 6, and 8 were closed for almost 2 weeks because they were flooded.
I went out there and looked at 4 or 5 of the greens, just to see, man,
Quite the difference. from-
quite the difference, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, looking forward to that. Any other questions, comments? Anything else you have, Andy? Parks and Rec,
Jen was supposed to be here, but she's not. So last month I gave you guys, their salary, the email they sent me, asking to approve their salary schedule. Well, they sent me a new one, and you have that email, and it deferred from the one that we approved, so they're looking to get that updated and reapproved, or they updated it and they want it reapproved with the new numbers. So summer rec directors for 5,000 a year, which that's what it has been for a while. Baseball and softball practice coaches is 15 an hour. And then assistant coaches is $10 an hour. The arts and crafts instructor is $550. Arts and craft assistant is $300. Golf is $200. They need 2 of those. Soccer's 2, and then $200 for each. $60 a day for an umpire. Certified ref for football, $75 a game. Non-certified refs, $50 a game. Football manager, $500. And then the baseball and softball coaches are volunteer, and so is football. So,
They did not offer golf this year,
no.
so I mean, that takes that out of that.
Mhm.
I'll make a motion, we approve the updated summer rec salary.
I'll second.
any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Next, we have resolution 12-2024, a resolution adopting or amending the current budget for fiscal year 24. We had that public hearing last month, and this is just that resolution to approve that.
I want that resolution.
The second,
I'll second it.
Goss,
Yes.
Hilton,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Moore.
Yeah.
Next, we have resolution 13-2024, adopting the proposed 2024 citywide urban revitalization plan area, and that's the public hearing that we just had.
I'll make a motion that we approve the urban revitalization plan.
The second,
Second?
Goss,
Yes.
Hilton,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Moore.
And then next we have consideration of ordinance 517, designating, oh, wait. Okay. We can void the second and third readings if we choose to do so,
What?
of the ordinance. Oh, wait, no, we have to, sorry. Okay, now it's the consideration of ordinance 517 designating the 2024 citywide urban revitalization area. So we need a,
I would make a motion approving ordinance 517 of the 2024 citywide urban revitalization area.
I'll second.
Which one?
yep, yeah.
Goss,
Yes.
Hilton,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Moore.
Yeah.
with an ordinance, you can choose to have the second and third, readings. Oh gosh, waived. And we just need a roll call for that as well. So a motion.
If you want to.
I would make a motion that we waive the second, and third readings of ordinance 517.
I'll second that.
Goss,
Yes.
Hilton,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Moore.
Yeah.
Next, we have approved pay application number 23, Tank Construction for $85,620.13. And Katie has signed and approved that. Can I get a motion to approve that?
I'll make that motion. To pay Act 23 Hinkle Construction for $85,620.13.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Carried.
So last month, John Robbins came and spoke to you guys about, the contracts, to update the comprehensive plan, which it would start with the comprehensive plan and then it would, fall into the zoning ordinance, but each one would cost $8,000. You have the contracts in front of you. We can always start with one and approve the other, but they're both here, so.
We don't really have a choice, do we?
Not really. Zoning, but most residents want to see that redone, so,
It's probably time.
yeah.
Yeah, comprehensive plan, definitely time.
I'll make a motion that we approve the comprehensive plan.
And the zoning or both? Because it's two contracts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second on that?
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I didn't hear. I heard one aye.
Sorry, aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carried. I'm hard to hear. Go ahead.
So before we approve the resolution to join the landfill of North Iowa, I just wanted to give you guys kind of an update on what happened in the last year. So we were going to the landfill of Lake Mills and they kept increasing prices monthly to absolute. And so they kept increasing our prices then and we were gonna increase our residents' costs for the trash and recycling and drastically. And we had a public hearing on that. A lot of residents came and were not happy with those increases. So we looked into joining the landfill of North Iowa and they offer a lot more and the prices would be $1 less than, it would be $1 less with absolute if we joined the landfill of North Iowa. So we'd save about, well, the residents would save about $9,948 a year, not each resident, but in total. We have 829 bins with them. So I just gave you guys some numbers on that and
And what's the cost to join?
it was 19,000, a little over 19 the first year. Going forward, it should be around 12,000 a year for that contract. So. For the next 5 years, I'm sorry, not forever. And they offer a lot more, they're cheaper. So anyway, with that being said, can someone offer resolution 14-2024, a resolution committing the city of Britt to the landfill of North Iowa solid waste comprehensive planning area?
I will offer resolution 14, 2024, committing to landfill in North Iowa.
Second on that?
I'll second that.
Scott?
Yes.
Tillman?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Moore?
Yeah.
Next, we have the marijuana ordinance. You guys have the draft in front of you. It's basically the same as Garner's, I believe. Before we can set that public hearing tonight. But we want to see, I guess, if you guys want any changes to this ordinance, or if you guys are good with that.
I'm a little curious about why we're gonna tell people what they can and can't do in their own house. If the state decides that marijuana is legal, we're gonna tell the residents of the city of Britt they can or cannot grow marijuana at their house.
That's not what this is.
That's what it says.
This is about businesses and we're
This
businesses.
is about where you can and can't do it,
Yeah.
whether you're a
business.
resident or.
But doesn't the state of Iowa then supersede no matter what the city has on that or not? Did we bring that question up before?
I'm just checking why it's even in here then.
It's to prevent a business
Correct,
from
but it
going.
doesn't say that.
So yeah, if the state of Iowa decides that it's these
Any
ordinances.
person or business growing or selling marijuana or marijuana products in the city shall only do so from a permanent building in an L1 industrial district.
Was an L1 industrial.
That means you can't grow it at your own house, even if the state says it's okay. According to this.
Well, if the state says it's okay to grow it at your own house.
Well, then why are we writing an ordinance that says that you can't do it?
Because what this is trying to do is keep,
I know what it,
Bad
I know what
businesses
it's trying to do, but that's not what it says. It should say a business then, not any person. I'm all for doing this, but I don't think we want to tell people what they can and can't do in their own residence.
At this point, we have draft on the top.
Right, I know.
I agree with you. I
I'm
think
just saying.
it needs, I know, I agree with you, Kurt. It's not.
I understand that, I understand what we're trying to do here. I just don't want to overstep it. And then the way it's worded, it says that any person has to get an industrial site to do this, and I don't think that's right. Not that I'm gonna grow it, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Isn't it like the fireworks though, like the state passed that fireworks are legal, but there's a city ordinance saying that we
We can't
can't.
allow them, we have to allow them, but we can still find them, is that correct?
Gotcha, okay.
Right.
That's what I
Yeah.
just, it wouldn't it be
If we
the
allow
same?
it, we can allow it, but then fine you if you do what we allow.
Yeah, that's the same thing.
It's clear as
That's
mud.
the same thing.
But you have an
It
ordinance,
throws all kinds of confusion into you.
That's very contradictory.
we have an ordinance not to be able to sell.
Or you have to be able to light them, you can't sell them, correct? Is that right?
Only at certain times of the year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't even allow it.
No, you don't.
We don't.
No, they're
Because
not, you're not
I've
allowed to
posted it
do it
multiple years. So I mean,
within city limits.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
We have to allow them to sell it. If someone wants. to
Oh,
put a
if they
tent
wanted
up,
to,
right,
I get what you're saying.
sure,
Yeah.
sell, but not, they can't let them off.
We don't have to let them light them off.
Right, yep.
I think it just
So they
makes
can't
everything
justify.
confusing.
What do you think, Tyler? If the state passed a law, would our law have anything to do with that? Would that supersede our laws?
I believe the state's law does.
Yeah, that's all.
But doesn't, I mean, back to the fireworks thing, the state has laws on that, but obviously we enforce what the city says on the fireworks. So are we contradicting ourselves there?
Yeah, 'cause we can't, you can sell them in city limits. You just can't use them in city limits.
What's the state law say?
The state law says you can.
Oh,
Isn't that what it is?
I just know
Yeah,
that.
but it has to
posted
be
that
like
before,
in
but-
July, like
Within
there's,
certain-
Yeah.
within certain time.
yeah.
I just think it's reaching a little bit here, because it even goes so far as to say you can only allow the outside of the building to be painted a single color. And I don't understand that.
They're trying to make it so it's not enticing to children.
So,
But there's not a single building on Main Street, I don't think that is a single
Are we
color.
gonna tell El Tequila they gotta change the color of the building? I mean,
Only if they want to sell marijuana products.
okay.
Well, I'm just
First
telling you
July.
why Garner did it this way. We don't have to do why.
I know,
Garner.
and I understand that. I
They did it
just,
this way because when you see bright colors, children are enticed.
Right.
So they're trying to keep it from children. That's the
Correct.
whole point of it.
But then, so you paint it one bright color instead of 10 bright colors.
it's a discussion. That's all this is a discussion, and I was just merely pointing out my,
You know, if I was gonna buy some pot, I don't think I'd care what color the building was.
Or where it's located.
nobody would care if you wanted to go to your house and tell you.
Go ahead.
The purpose, council, is to make sure that someone does not paint marijuana leaves, drug paraphernalia, or anything else on the outside of the building that would entice children to get to the building. The purpose of this, as those young ladies demonstrated when they came before you, was to try and avoid children from getting to these drugs. So the purpose that Garner took was to take it and put it into an industrial area where it could be more closely monitored by the police to make sure these kids did not get to these drugs. That's what the West Hancock girls were doing. That's what the Garner kids were trying to do, is make sure that it would be easier for law enforcement to spot where these drugs might be sold.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
do you guys want me to,
Do you want to strike any part?
I think it should say any person. I mean, if someone wants to open a business that's going to sell marijuana, then state it that way. But this is the way it's stated right now, is that anyone. You know, it tells you exactly where you can do it, but that means that you can't do it at your house, or I can't do it at my house. I don't think that's quite right. If we're gonna infringe on everybody's right to do what they want in their own house, if it's legal, if it's illegal, I get that. We're talking about what if it's legal? Because I'm guessing that at some point, it will be legal in the state of Iowa. It may be a long time from now, but at some point it probably will be.
any of the other council have any thoughts? You good with that? Striking the any person?
I think it should be limited to any business.
Where's our industrial park?
We have very little
Where's my
industrial.
industrial zoning would be out by Munson's.
next to Centennial,
Yeah, next to the park.
just saying. I mean.
Why would we
I'm
want
just
to
saying,
put it
but
way
that's
out
where
there where the
Centennial is.
police are not necessarily always at? Why would we want it close
And the
by
daycare.
so they can see it?
That's exactly what I brought up before, and I was shut down. The best place is stick it right on Main Street. Anybody going down, walking down, driving down the street, not just rely on our police officers to maintain it. You sit it right smack dab in the middle of Main Street, everybody's gonna see who's going in. You put it in the obscure corner of town, the police aren't gonna drive by all the time, and nobody else is gonna drive by to see who's walking in. And the kids, if they want it, are gonna walk to the edge of town. If you want to really police it, have the whole community police it. How many people here are gonna go to the far corner of town to see who's walking into marijuana? But you're all gonna see it if it's right in the middle of Main Street.
Making a licensed establishment like Darren's got a license for selling liquor or anybody else. That way you've got control of the business through.
Iowa 8, well, it'd be probably something else at that point.
It would be something else, but at least you could put something in there as a licensee.
We can approve it every
with the
year.
city.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So that way you got, first of all, you can collect some money.
Right.
Secondly, then you've got some rules that they gotta abide by that the police can go after them for. If it's legal.
I mean, they put beer signs in every window at every bar. That's no different.
Every convenience store.
Right.
And if the establishment is going to sell to kids, they're gonna sell to the kids, and just like alcohol. They're gonna do a sting if, send somebody in that's underage and see if they're checking their IDs. Really no difference between alcohol and drugs, that type of thing. Obviously, there's differences between, but the way you enforce it. When I was a teenager, you tried to buy beer, you got busted, you got busted. It was your own fault.
Sometimes it is.
Sometimes you got it.
Cigarette and alcohol permits are through the state, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You gotta have
If this-
insurance and all that stuff.
But if the state's not gonna do that, because they're gonna make it legal,
They're going
can we?
But
Well,
drinking and
alcohol's
cigarettes are
legal.
legal. That's all
But
legal.
alcohol's legal too.
So when they regulate it, they would probably.
They would have to
I
regulate
just
it.
didn't know if we could do
They get money that
something.
way.
Right, I don't know if we
They're
could do
gonna-
something that if they don't, then we do.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't know if that was possible.
It
The
helps,
state's
yeah.
gonna get their collection.
up a shop.
I think whatever we pass now will have to be revisited if the state ever changes their law. I think we could pass anything we want to do right now. That doesn't make a bit of difference.
But if it's not legal,
Well,
the state doesn't have it legal, we can't do anything, nobody's gonna open
North
a
is legal,
business anyway.
federal
You're exactly right.
government. North is
because-
legal, federal government.
John is right. Still got federal government,
Yeah.
still a felony, you can't have a gun if you're smoking weed.
The city wrote an ordinance that prohibited, four-wheelers and UTVs and all that stuff. And as soon as the state made it legal, then all that went out the window. Nothing you can do about it anymore. They can drive them wherever they want to. So you're right. I mean, we spent time passing that ordinance. And then it was no good anyway.
And if we do pass this ordinance,
This ordinance
it's
doesn't mean
it's
anything
completely
at this
illegal
point.
to do any of it at this point, so why do we need an ordinance making it,
Because
Because of
once
something
once
illegal.
it's approved, you can't go back and pass an ordinance. Once it's approved, it's a done deal. It's like any other business that comes in.
Grandfather.
It's grandfathered in. You can't go back. This, you guys, this is to try to keep it as far away from children as possible. I have pulled businesses on Main Street, don't want it next to their business.
what this is doing is telling the citizens that we don't want it here. It's telling the county that we don't want it here. Garner Pass, they're telling the county we don't want it here. you know, and then in turn, you know, telling the state we don't want it. And, you know, in the long run, it's gonna, yeah, I agree, it might, I don't think it'll be in my lifetime, but it's probably gonna pass sooner or later, but there's been a lot of changes that have come pretty quick lately. But I certainly hope that we don't stoop that quite that low yet. I think a lot of the states that made forms of it legal are regretting it, but now, you know, I just heard a commentary on the radio yesterday or today talking about the state, and if we pass this, we're gonna build new bridges and we're gonna repair the roads and we're gonna do this, and so far they haven't done any of that. You know, so, yeah, I think it's a long ways out yet in Iowa, I really do. But there again, if Iowa passes whatever they pass, you know, I think we should pass something here to get it in the books. We can always revisit it if we have to.
I'm fine drafting an ordinance that tells where business can be located. I'm not in favor of telling what a resident can or can't do in the state of Iowa in their own house. The state says it's legal, and that's what this does. In addition to telling a business where it can and can't locate.
It's everybody else's thoughts.
I agree with her.
I can have Earl redraft that and have it back on the next agenda.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we opened bids on Monday, it was Vance, Jim and I. So the highest bid was Soda Subject for $5,600, Hancock County Ag Board, $5,000, Greg Post, $5,005, Rick and Clinton Schucher, $5,000, and Andy Manwaring, $4,612. Can I get a motion to approve Soda Subject, $5,600 for the 1993 dump truck?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Kind of unbelievable that they're all that close,
Yeah.
but pretty nice. Anyway, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Down to me.
Yes.
Camps on Second Street Northeast. I've got a lot of complaints. Talked to Tyler about it, talked to the residents about it down in that area. A lot of stray cats. There's two people, one lives out of town, comes back and feeds the cats. One local feeds the cats. And the neighbors are getting tired of stray cats pooping in their flowers and digging their flowers up and all that other kind of stuff. And I know we used to have one that was running around our neighborhood for a while, hiding in my bushes and stuff. And but it's a pain in the hind end. Just, you know, cats is treated legally wise. They're treated just the same as dogs. They're supposed to be not running loose, right? You know. So what do you think? I mean, is there, you know, and I've talked to people that have, you know, live trapped them and you know, and I know some things that you can, you know, you can euthanize them, but that can get expensive too. What's that?
Stop feeding.
Stop feeding them, yeah.
That trailer, on what avenue is that?
North of that, Second Street.
It's on Second Street.
That's on Fourth Avenue.
What's
On the
that?
board, yeah. That trailer's been in abatement several times at Earl's office and nothing's got done about it.
That's uninhabitable, and that
Right.
porch that's on it is half falling off.
Well,
If they're
they
feeding
knock the
the
door
cats,
open, that trailer's got cats living in it all the time.
and I guarantee you that there's more than just cats cats going in there and eating.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You got possum and coons going in there and eating too, which we don't, I mean, that's only a block from the railroad tracks.
The last I knew, the owner was located in California somewhere. So you gotta start there. You need to get that trailer out of there.
She owned the house right straight west.
It looks on the boat, yes, to the west of the trailer.
Yep. Yeah.
Earl's had it on his desk numerous times.
This might be just kind of out
Well-
there, but could we,
It's two issues, except, we gotta
We
look
gotta
at,
get rid of the trailer
you gotta
first.
do the trailer and you gotta do the cats as well.
You got cats, coons, and possums in the church too.
Yeah, possum
And then
and
that green,
raccoon in the
brown
church.
house in the corner's got it too.
hopefully we get that church demolished soon. Should be ours next month, so.
Good. Are we getting bids on that? Yeah, we can't
Bowman
get
is
bids.
ready
Yeah.
to do
Until-
their thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bowen.
Yeah, wait,
We
get
got
that.
a quote in to get the site plan through the bid documents.
And then we have
But we have
asbestos.
to own it first.
Yes,
Yeah,
yep.
And we've got somebody lined up to do the asbestos investigation.
Yep.
And then we can, depending on the results of that, we go after that.
Good. So do we need to start a digging all over?
Yeah, you probably gotta start all over on that trailer.
Yeah.
There should be some paperwork somewhere about that.
I'll look. If there's anything.
Isn't there anything we can do?
It's been abated several times.
I was thinking, could we do the same thing, like declare uninhabitable like the church? So I mean, obviously I have to talk to Earl to see what he thinks.
Right.
He's the one that's, yeah,
Both of those structures,
sorry,
the house and the trailer,
yeah,
the one right next to the trailer.
okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we can definitely put that on the next agenda.
Nobody lives in either one of them.
Yeah,
I've been for years, have they?
No, well, when did Harms move out of that trailer?
A couple years ago.
That's what I thought.
3 or 4 years ago.
He lived in Fort Lake with his
I
son.
think it was probably 5 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Is there anything we can do about them leaving that door open and feeding all the animals?
Can we fence that out too?
And I have a neighbor that feeds their cats too, or outdoor cats.
yeah, we had
I
a
mean,
complaint today too from First Avenue Southwest saying that there's a bunch of cats there too,
We just have,
Everywhere.
Southwest.
there's a lot of street cats in this town.
There is.
Yeah.
I know that.
Can't live in the sewer is full of water.
Yeah. They're out now.
Yeah. They make every attempt at living now. Yeah.
So,
Okay, let's do that. Salary increases. Well, can we do C before B so we can get that over?
sure, we can.
Resolution 15/2024 heading to the employee handbook and police on-call policy.
So you guys, so what the policy says is on-call hourly employees that are required to be on call will be compensated half of their hourly wage for each hour they are on call. Officers should work a minimum of 80 hours per pay period, 2 weeks before on-call hours will be paid out. Vacation, sick, or personal time can be used to reach the 80 hours worked. Employees called out must respond in a reasonable time, but in no case shall the response time be greater than 1 hour. I put the 1 hour in red because that'll be up to you guys, what you decide. But that's what a couple cities had done, so I just left that in.
I thought we were talking about a time frame of less than an hour before.
Did you say, I don't know if it said 30 minutes, but then I know we want Isabel to also take on call, which 30 minutes, she's 24 miles, that would be a really hard time to make, I think. So, do we want to make it 45 minutes?
I would go with 45.
An hour to respond to an issue seems like an awful long time.
It is, yeah.
What's the county do?
I'm not sure exactly what their policy says or what it is that, for the amount, I guess. I can always.
The whole idea behind it is, you got 4 police officers, if 2 live out of town, the 2 that live closer have to take on call for 4 people, and that's just not fair.
Correct. I agree with it. I'm gonna change it to 45 minutes.
Yeah, and that's why I left it.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to go any more than that.
And I would say it's not, if, you know, say we hire whoever we hire next, if they don't move to town, you know, I know we got 2 individuals that are from Forest City. You know, say they don't move to town, you know, they're another 20 miles away. I mean, if you do pass it 45 minutes, it's not gonna take them 45 minutes.
Right.
Especially if they're getting called in at 4 a.m. to something happening here. They're gonna get dressed and get here as quickly as possible, so it's not gonna take them 45 minutes to get here. But, I just think that.
And if there's a
If it's an
urgent
emergency, they're
need,
probably calling you.
Exactly.
dispatch
Yeah,
is
and that's-
gonna
and
call
I-
you
I'll-
guys. Yeah.
If it's something
I'll
early.
dispatch that too, like
Yeah.
if it's a very big emergency, obviously get a hold of myself or Jordan.
Yeah.
Or both, and we can get there quicker.
And yeah, if it's something like that, the county's probably gonna be on it too.
To the
Right.
deputies respond to if, you
If
know,
they're- if they're-
especially if they're ones that live in town, if it's something
And if they're
big enough.
out and about, I mean, at 4 o'clock in the morning, there's nobody out, so there's no deputies out even, so. I mean, they would probably call us first, and they would ask us if we wanted a deputy to come, and then we could always ask for backup until whoever else got there, so.
So-
45 minutes.
I would offer resolution 15, 2024, adding to the employee handbook a police on-call policy, providing that you change that to 45 minutes.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All those in favor, excuse me, Goss,
Yes.
Hillman,
Yes.
Nelson, Moore.
Yeah.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, wages. Everybody has the paper. You see what the recommendations are. My goal coming into this was try to get from some of our, some discrepancies I thought that we've had. I think we had some people that were fairly low, and to get them caught up a little bit. Elizabeth's doing a super job, and I know the first administrator that was hired here was like maybe 8 years ago, and that was for 65,000. And that particular administrator couldn't balance a checkbook. That's why I'm not here. But she's doing a great job, so I think there's a reason. And then look at it again next year. Marcy, you see in the notes there, she's gonna be taking on some more responsibility, and thank you. And that's what we need to do. We need to cross-train in that office. Because you never know when, you know, an emergency is gonna happen or whatever. Vance, got him a good race there too. If you look around and compare that position, this still puts him very underpaid. And then we've got new water project going now. That requires a lot more learning. We've got, gonna have the new sewer plant going, and that gonna require, what, Series 3?
Yes,
No,
that's what they're telling me.
which is,
Straight water trees make over 120,000 a year. So you guys are aware of that too.
you know, so that position I think was very low, you know, and our city employees, the city crew, you know, 2 people were under $20 an hour. Not much, but shouldn't be. One thing about that position, and both of these guys, JT are both in the same position. They study for tests and they take tests, they can get raises. And when you're hired, you know, that's explained. And so that's what we want you guys to do. You know, we want you to study and take the test. You know, from what I understand, very few people pass these tests the first time because they're pretty tough. Can be pretty tough. I mean, I studied taking an insurance test rather than insurance business and securities, and all those tests are tough. But we definitely want you to improve yourself, and in doing that, we will improve your wages accordingly, and that's written right into the policy. And then Jane, Elizabeth looked that up. That position has not had a raise since 2004.
Yep.
2004. That's 20 years.
She's gonna be supported.
Yeah, but
Well,
still.
and the auditors want her to do a little bit more now too.
Yeah,
So,
and it's not that she's doing it for the money. But I'm saying we appreciate what she's doing. You know, and I think it needs to be looked at more than every 20 years. So that's why that's there. Police, last year, you know, I think everybody got 5% across the board, and then in August and September, we went from 5-man to 4-man and split that 5th person's wages up and applied it to the police force, so that helped them get another raise. I think I remember looking there, it's like one went from $22 an hour up to,
so they had raise increases in September of 2021, October of 2021, December of 2021, and then July of those years, and then again in August of 2023. So they've had wage adjustments, I should say.
any questions or comments? You know, these are just suggestions. You can see the supervisor suggested more than what we have down here, some areas. But the whole thing is, we've got a good crew. And you have to tell them what you think you've got a good crew. Give them a decent wage. We're still low. But a lot better than what we were. We've gone up quite a bit over the last 20 years. We were so far behind statewide at one time, but definitely getting caught up a little bit. But it's still, you know, our police department, you know, we had a guy apply for a position here where he was at. The city was hard up for help and give $10 an hour raise. Pretty tough to compete with that. Really tough to compete with that. You know, but so we can't try to compete with that. right now anyway. But we need to keep being proactive. That's my thoughts. I guess. And actually, as we're talking about it, we still have we give the part-time snow removal crew a raise, right?
$1.
But we didn't talk about next year, did we?
No, we usually do that in December.
Do that after the first snow.
I don't know. We can include that in there, Doctor.
I'm just curious, he's an employee of the city,
Well,
he's not on there.
We'll pass this by resolution in July, so, but we need to know prior, so we just need a approval
So we can write it.
so that I can do paychecks in July correctly.
Anybody thoughts, questions?
I'm fine.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. Public comment, anybody here wishing to address the council?
Well, we need an approval of the mayor's recommendation, supervisor's recommendation, or somebody has anything different, so we do need a motion to approve these.
You need a motion to approve and still do a resolution.
Yeah, so I can do a,
You need a tentative approval, so that you can put it into a resolution.
yeah. So I can pay everybody in July, or,
Yeah, yeah.
When will
You
it be
have to
on the
be done.
agenda, the 2nd of July or whatever the date that meeting is?
well, we have to, no. Let me check. Okay. Do payroll. Yeah, I need it before then because I have to do payroll 28th of June. Oh, no, I wouldn't, sorry, no. Because they wouldn't start getting, yeah, we're good, we can do
So
it,
you
we
put
can,
that resolution in
Yes,
there for
yeah.
the first meeting?
yes, we'll be fine.
Good. Good.
Okay.
Okay. I was gonna say, I look like I'm stumbling around up here sometimes, and I am. When I was mayor for 14 years before, things were done a little different. They've changed over the last 8 years, and I'm not quite used to it yet. Not changed a whole lot, but the way things are done have changed. And, so I am learning too, so I apologize if I look like I don't know what I'm doing. But it'll get there. I feel pretty comfortable with it now. If there anybody wanting to address the council at all?
Question on that landfill, when does that take effect?
July 1st.
I've got a TV in my garage, it's been there for 2.5 years. I can take it over.
Yeah, I think it's like
Oh.
$15, so.
Good.
They recycle TVs over there.
Yeah, after this, I'll be posting their like pamphlets on Facebook,
They do, paint,
paint,
all
chemicals.
that hazardous materials.
If you go to their website right now, we're listed as one of theirs.
Oh, nice.
The hazardous material, I believe, is by equipment only, but it's technology. I've had a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Really good feedback from people.
They're great. They're great to work with and they're super clean and organized. I mean, I've been out there before and it's really nice.
I will be our representative on their board now.
Yeah, so we get to appoint one person.
Yeah,
So,
that's kind of nice. Do you remember Brent? Anybody remember Brent Henson? He was the city administrator for Garner for several years. Then he went to his hometown area more. Now he's back in Mesa City. Anyway, he made the motion to allow Britt to join the landfill. I thought that was, wanted to be sure he told me that. Brett and I got along for many, many years. Good guy. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
that's that question.